Welcome to you all from me, Noel Cronin, here again with my pick of what's coming up on your favourite channel over the next fortnight. A missing heiress, forgery, superlative dancing, top pop stars and continental lorry drivers. Never let it be said we don't bring you variety. Dr. Morell from 1949 stars Valentine Dial as a slightly sinister doctor and amateur sleuth. Also in the film is Hugh Griffith, who would go on to win an Oscar for Ben-Hur a decade later. Playing the Doctor's assistant is Julia Lang. If you don't recall the name, you'll definitely know the voice. It was Julia who opened each episode of Listen with Mother with the immortal phrase, "Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin." There's no time for stories here though, as she goes undercover to help the Doctor find that missing heiress. Let's hope they can track her down. The 1957 film She Played with Fire stars one of our favourite actors, Jack Hawkins. He's an insurance investigator who uncovers some dirty dealings in the art world after a fire at a manor house. At the manor he meets an old flame, excuse the pun, played by American actress Arlene Dahl. The supporting cast is just superb. It includes Dennis Price, Ian Hunter and Christopher Lee. The creative forces behind the camera are those two titans of British cinema, Frank Lauder and Sidney Gilliat. She Played with Fire may have fewer laughs than those, but this gripping thriller will keep you guessing right up to the very end. There's more art forgery in our exclusive episode of Saber of London, the Florentine Madonna from 1959. Saber of London starred Donald Gray as suave private detective Mark Saber. The series hasn't been shown on television for decades, and I'm very excited to be bringing you this episode. Actor Donald Gray sadly lost an arm during World War II, but he continued his acting career with some success. And Captain Scarlet fans, yes, it is the Donald Gray, the voice of Colonel White. We stay in 1959, but change pace a little for this wonderful show starring one of the top pop stars of the era. Alma Cogan, live in 1959, is a musical variety show hosted by the girl with a giggle in her voice. Among her guests are Cliff Richard and the Shadows, Billy Baxter and Wilbur Evans. This hasn't been seen on TV since first broadcast, and it's a joy to see so much talent in one studio. Something else for the history buffs, as my fellow footage detective Mike Reed also goes solo. His fascinating show, The Writing on the Wall, is making its return. In this series he takes us on a journey around the country, bringing to life the people celebrated by those plaques. All of those leaders in their fields who have made unique and important contributions to Britain, and in many cases the world. That's a dinner party I would love to be at. Thanks to all of you who took the time to write to me, like Tim Bishop, who has a query about our catch-up service TPTV Encore. Hi Noel, I was going to watch Batman on Encore, but it doesn't seem to be on there. Is it a rights issue, and are you only allowed to show it but not to put it on there? Best wishes, Tim Bishop. Well, yes, it is a rights issue. We have to clear separate rights for repeats and the Encore service, and this one we just couldn't clear. And as we move into autumn, let's warm up with a trip to Argentina in the company of Fred Astaire and Rita Hayworth. You Were Never Lovelier from 1942 was Fred and Rita's second film together, and it's magical. Boy meets girl, they dislike each other, they sing and dance, and they, guess what, fall in love. The songs, including the classic Dearly Beloved, were written by Jerome Kern and Johnny Mercer. Along for the ride are the great Xavier Cugat and his band. It's said that Rita was Fred's favourite dance partner. They certainly have great chemistry in this film, which will definitely have you tapping your toes. Hammer films and romantic melodrama are not words you often see in the same sentence. But the 1951's To Have and to Hold is exactly that, a romantic melodrama from our friends at that great British studio. It stars Patrick Barr, Ava Scott and Robert Ayres. A dying man resolved to make sure his wife has another man to take care of her after his demise. The beautiful house they live in is actually Gilston Park in Hertfordshire, just near the border with Essex. Look out for the very young Eunice Gayson in the cast. Eunice will be forever remembered as Sylvia Trench, the first Bond girl. My final selection day is the 1960 crime drama Let No Man Write My Epitaph. A really fine cast includes Burl Ives, Shelley Winters, James Darren and the one and only Ella Fitzgerald. The widow of an executed murderer is determined her son will not follow the same path. He clearly has a bright future as a classical pianist, but an unfortunate series of events sees the family fall in with the wrong kind, with tragic results. This very American tale was actually directed by a Brit, by Philip Laycock, the man behind such films as The Spanish Gardener with Dirk Bogarde. He does a brilliant job here, but then he also has an excellent cast to work with. That's just a small selection of what's coming up on your favourite channel. There's plenty more, of course. I must just mention we have some new episodes at Look at Life coming your way, so keep your eyes peeled on short film section in your free Sunday newsletter. If you haven't signed up yet, why not? If you want to know more about what's happening at Talking Pictures TV, why not subscribe to our weekly newsletter, which drops into your mailbox every Sunday. If you'd like to write to me, you can get in touch via email at noel@talkingpicturestv.co.uk. If you prefer to put pen to paper, the address to write to is Talking Pictures TV, P.O. Box 592, Kings Langley, Hertfordshire, WD4 4DB. And do join me again next time I look at what's on Talking Pictures. Don't forget Bruno Kramer's back in Maigret. We hope to have Z-Cars in time for you, and many more.